so-called island formula, where if you're computing the entropy here in some region that contains purely radiation, and let's say you neglect gravity in this region, this, let's say the interior of this cathode surface could be IDS, and the exterior could be some other quantum system. Then, when we compute the entropy in this region, we should also apply a formula, well, essentially the same as the formula, black hole fine-grained gravitational entropy formula, which involves, again, a surface and, and an interior here, and we can, again, minimize, extremize, and minimize over choices of mass. And we should view this as basically a special case of the gravitational fine-grained entropy formula. Special case really for this one. Now, there's one aspect of this formula that has caused a lot of discussions and heated arguments.
Alrighty, Doc here. Oop, a commercial. Let's get rid of the commercial. Let's remove the black holes for the time being. If I can figure out where the button is. There it is. Nope, there it is. As we cut the black holes. Remember, happy 2020. Oh no, happy Strings 2020. Today is the last day of the String Theory Conference. It's been very entertaining. It's very cyber. So, all cool here. Let's see. What's all that? Holy moly. Curse words on the chat line. And NASA? Oh my god. Anyway, here we go. We got the euro up there. The markets are closed here in the States. So that means the planet's volume has decreased by, I don't know, 60%, something like that, 70%. Not much volume out there. Let me just make sure I can hear myself. Yep, there we go. I can hear myself. So there we are. Water under the bridge. Let's see. Let's see. I'm looking on the chat line at Dukascopy. Okay, there we go. All right. And do we have anybody in here saying hi to us this morning? It's just me. How about that? How'd that happen? Just I. Me, myself, and I. Oh, well. There's a second body showing up. It's like I said, it's a culmination of a couple different things happening all at once. We have Strings 2020 ending. So obviously everybody, instead of doing webinars with me, are out there looking at atomic theory instead. String theory. Now we got 4. I like that. And so you can see the euro is really going nowhere, and it's going to be pretty much like that now, obviously, the rest of the day. Is there anything? I mean, you can see. I can show you the. Let's see. There is JForex. You can see it's going to be kind of quiet. Let's see if we can put a stock indice future up there. Let's try something there. Show you how quiet it is here in the States. It's a little action, I'm sure. The world is doing something, but there's no real action in the sense of volume. And we follow the volume. I guess that's a daily chart. You can see there's the daily chart right there. This is a normal day. There's yesterday. There's today. Nothing's going on. It happened. It's happened. It's over with. And so what we can do is we can look. Our spreadsheet has the fact check sheet has July 6th on it at this point. That's where we're at. We're not even paying attention to anything else today. Whatever happens today, unless there's an enormous increase in volume, there's not much worth paying attention to. Now I can show you, we do have the stock indices trading live, and some of our futures are trading live. I don't think the treasury bonds are trading live, but and none of the grains are trading live. But let's see if I can find one on here. Let's go show you. I think the stock indice is trading live. I think there it is right there. You can see it. Matter of fact, this is the S&P 500. And you can see it is moving around. You know, it's in what's that range? That range is in the you can see it's locked in the 25 to 23 area for the last couple hours, and it's pretty much going to oscillate like that. And you can see this is our what is this? This is our gas line. I think it's a super gas. Yeah, gas line 3 super. So what it means is that the one of them is an actual gas line 5, and then the other 5 Let's see if we can show you. And then the plot 6 is a gas line 5, and the rest are gas line 3s in math. So that's what a super represents. So we'll just, that's what's going on there. Interesting how the 5 reaches up and advances ahead of time a lot. Right there, see that right there? That's kind of interesting. It's a little bit more sensitive, I guess, in certain ways. It's the plot 1. That's what it is too. Let me just show you again. So plot 6 is the plot 1 on gas line 5. That's what that is. And then the rest of this is plot 1 through 5 of gas line 3. That's what a super is. So, people, if anybody's ever paid attention and really wondered what is Doc mumbling about, or what is going on with this super gas line 3.5 or super 7, or any of those things, or I have a super 31. So that's where we are right there. Let's see, what else are we looking at here? We could be looking at it. Other states prepared by Euclidean functional integrals. That could be interesting. No. All right, so that's where we are with the euro. So the euro went out in another weekly buy, and the cable's pretty much the same way too. Let's take a look at the cable. Cable went out in a weekly buy also. So in other words, we're not paying attention to today's action. Again, unless there is some type of mass volume. It would take mass volume for me to, like normal volume. I mean, today's volume is going to be dramatically low because, again, the United States is closed. People are out doing other things. Banks are closed. The trust departments are closed. The funds are closed. Everything's closed. And the only one that would be participating is someone needs something. In other words, they need to close something out. They need to maybe try to initiate something. There's a standing bid out there and someone does something foolish, like here, let me show you something foolish. I noticed this morning. Let's take a look at I don't mean, I'm not picking on the Turkish lira, but someone did something. They jacked that puppy 5 full handles. I was like, whoa. What is that all about? Obviously a very thin market. And so let's see if it's on here. Okay, so now on here it's not reflecting it, or yeah, that's a daily. And let me just show you on the U.S. broker with a Turkish lira. Let's see, which one is it? Right there, and right there. See, someone jacked that. Is that? Oh no, yeah, 80, almost up to 90. They almost, someone reached up for it and pushed the price up. And someone actually got suckered. There were lawsuits going on after the crash of '87 because people put market orders in on options, and the floor brokers in Chicago, or on the future side, are a bunch of, okay, let's just say that they're a bunch of unique type of paper fillers, and so they filled orders at some outrageous prices, like $30,000 more than they were supposed to pay. Things like that, and they just held to the exchange rules. That went on for months upon months. But so when it comes to currencies and commodity futures, or any futures in the United States, that's the Wild West. When I was sent there to open up an operation, they said to me, "You are now going into the snake pit." And boy, did I find out it is beyond that. But so you can see someone traded the currency there a lot higher. It's not a fat finger. I'm sure someone put a market order in, and ouch, they ended up paying 4.5 handles higher. At least you can see this on Dukascopy. They didn't allow anything like that to happen. So, and if we went into the tick chart, I'm sure we could find the exact same spot, and they're not trading it on Dukascopy that way. But that is the nature of U.S. Products traded on the CFTC side of the world in the United States, the Commodities Futures Trading Commission side of the world. After you shake their hand, you have to count your fingers because you're really not sure, because they're like a a Wild West lawman. Depends on who owns them at the time. And the exchanges own the Commodities Futures Trading Commission, whereas the exchanges do not own the Securities Exchange Commission. It runs equities and stocks and so forth. They are whipped by them, but they don't own them, whereas the CFTC is owned by the commodities exchanges themselves. So that's like we were pointing out with the corn a couple of days ago. Someone front run the corn. You see any investigations on the front page of the Wall Street Journal about it? Not. Never is. We see it all the time. They front run the futures and you never see it. So that's where we are with that. So anyway, yeah, so you can see here on Dukascopy, no real great shakes. It got up to 86 and change. One of the bigger days you can see, in the last 2 weeks of width, of the bar or candle or whatever you want to call it. But here in the States, someone got their heads handed to them. They're licking their wounds this morning. That's for sure. Let's see, what else can we say? So that's how thin things are. That's what it's all about, really. It's a very thin market, and so chances are, whatever happens today has no relevancy to the longer-term trend of dailies and weeklies and monthlies. It's just a noisy, thin market. We used to refer to it as the cockroach hotel from those commercials for the anti-cockroach, traps. You can get in, but you can't get out, that type of thing. So traders, be careful today. Today's not the day to try to lift and jump into a trade unless you need the gamma or you need the delta or something of that nature to hedge yourself. And that's pretty much the way it goes there. All right, now let's drift over to, let's see, what should we drift over today? Let's drift over to, we saw cable, we saw euro, and we've seen Turkish lira, and no one's asking anything, so we'll just drift over to our normal rhythm. Take a look at Canadian, see what the Canadian's doing. There it is right there, 7 weeks now, because this is really like Sunday night to me, and 3 days in a sell there. So 7 weeks and 3 days on the fact check sheet. And let's take a look at it on JForex. A little firmness there, eh? But you can see there, look how tight that is. Look at the white line heading down and buried. And then let's put the Chicago Quant up there. You can see it right there. Or maybe you can't. There it is. You can see that. It's just trying to lift back up. But again, and it's not relevant because this is, who knows what they're, it's so thin. There's no real paper there to be able to feed anything. And like I said, don't put a market order out there. You might get your heads handed to you. Let's take a look at Swiss. A little firmness there too on Swiss. Swiss is line 21. We're looking at 6 weeks in a sell, 3 days in a sell, and a little firmness there today. But again, nothing's really screaming about the market. You can see it there on the Chicago Quant matching up with the. You see how the way we put the JForex, 2 different stochastics on there. You can see the slow and the fast. You can see it's trying to curve, just like our little bounce there. But again, nothing worth really talking about. Let's see. What else can we go with? Entangled wedges of radiation in blue. I like that. Okay. At late times, it includes part of the black hole interior. We were looking at evaporations of black holes today. I think that's fascinating. What else we got going on there with the Swiss? Not much. It's kind of just dogging itself, I guess you could say. Let's take a look at the yen. Yen was kind of interesting in the sense that it looks like it's held up into that weekly sell for another week. 3 weeks in a weekly sell. 1 day in a daily sell. And let's check out on JForex. Right there. You can see the white line heading down. Did we put it up there? Is that it right there? I don't think so. There it is. Same thing. Line heading down. This is heading down. Matter of fact, isn't that cute? Look at that. Same type of curvature. So it's kind of like it's like string theory. It depends on your bootstraps and operators, but and I guess you could say if all truth, you could refer to it as a treetop. I think that's the best way. It's like Einstein gravity, so in the end result is that you can see some of the same flavor. You can see it right there too. Same flavor when you look at the two different stochastics working with each other, and then use this one as the zero line. So the slow is turned into the zero line and tells you the weakness. Then it shows you the strength, and then it shows you the weakness, and then it shows you the strength. So use the slow one to reflect the strength. See that right there? How to use J4. I think we could title this today, How to Use JForex Slow and Fast Stochastic. I think that would be a great name for this. Yeah, I think I like that. I mentioned it, I pointed it out, but in the heat of battle, when the markets are really active, and right now they are, dead, it's a lot easier to reflect. So what you do is you use the slow stochastic as the zero line, and that will help you out. And then look at the rate of change, like the strength, in a sense. If it's really strong or weak. If it's going down, it's obviously telling you that it's weak. In this case here, you can see it's rising, and this drops below the zero line, but this is still rising. See how short-lived it is. Gives you a little weakness, but not a lot. Whereas when it drops below here, maybe we're going to get much more pounding. But then again, this is moving up, so it tells you no, it should be very tight since it's moving up. And that's the way we read the rate of change and the slow stochastic and the fast stochastic on JForex. All right, and so that's where we are there, and with a Sunday night numbers right there. So you'll be getting that in the mail on Sunday night. All right, let's take a look at, what are we looking at now? How about Ruble? Ruble jumped into a weekly buy after 12 weeks in a sell. Let's take a look at that. Dollar ruble. Let's see now. Go with let's see, right there. Where's the ruble at? Right there. There we are. See there, the ruble has lifted. It's closed in a weekly buy. Got a lot of green dots going on there, and I think that's line 17, is it? No, where's ruble? 18, that's what it is. 6 days in a daily buy. 1 week now, starting off the week with a weekly buy. Cool. We need to put the little line in there. And did I mention TGIF? Thank God it's Friday. And it's a holiday. And here on the East Coast tomorrow night, a little after midnight, the full moon is going to go eclipse. And we're going to see a half moon for a few minutes, and then it's going to come back to a full moon again. And that's going to be the bomb. I think that's going to be very cool. So let's see. Shut down years ago. What shut down years ago? So there it is right there. Let's see, how do we interpret? Let's take a look at that. Let's interpret that. The ruble. So there we go. So we've got the fast stochastic breaking down, and you see the breakdown there. Then you see the lift with the fast stochastics moving up, and you can see that the rate of change is moving up with it, so it's strength. Whereas notice when it breaks down, it's not as strong, but that's a pretty good move. And then you can see when it breaks through here, it's a much better move, I guess you could say, from there. Now this one's kind of interesting. Is you can see this broke underneath, and this was rising at the same time, telling you that it's not much selling going on there. And so that's a good way of looking at the JForex. Something, when the markets are trading, and I'm doing a webinar, I am flying. I'm doing like going 3 directions, and so I don't get really a chance to articulate exactly what I'm looking at. I just say, just follow. I think that you're seeing what I see. So we are, that's with the markets closed today. Hell, we should have like a Saturday webinar once in a while. Get a lot done on that. You can see there the way it's rolling there. No questions still, but we have 5 in the house, so that's pretty cool. So today's title of this, I've already got the title. We're going to call it Slow and Fast Stochastics with JForex. That's what we're going to call it. I'm going to put that in there right now. This way I don't forget it. Hell, yesterday I realized I had the streaming going on for an extra 15 minutes. Because someone called me about options. And I had to try to explain something in the options. I was like, sound like a cat. All right. Okay, so let me put that in there as we speak. Title today. I figured it early during webinar. There. Slow and fast stochastics on JForex. There we are. This way I don't have to think about it. All done. So now, so there's the rubles. You can see it's trying to lift up. Interesting, 12 weeks in a weekly sell. Excuse me there. Well, if this looks higher than this, Doc's fact check sheet was right. And it does look higher, doesn't it? Does this look higher than this? Does that look higher? I think it looks higher than that. Does anybody else out there think this is higher than this over here? If so, Doc fact check sheet is right. Cool, huh? All right. Where do we jump from here? Let's jump to... We should look at all of them today since it's a dead market. I mean, it's not really anything going on. Let's take a look at... what else should we take a look at? Let's take a look at... we haven't seen the Zolty lately. Let's see what the Zolty... It went into a weekly buy this week. It was in a weekly sell for like 6 weeks, 7 weeks, something like that. Where are you? E. E for excellent. Zolty. Where are you, Zolty? Does that mean I haven't put the Zolty in? EUR. There it is. Okay. What a nice solid currency that is. Bouncing between the high 3s and the low mid 4s for years now. What a solid currency. Boy, do they know what economics is or what? The rest of Europe needs to stare at them and see what they're doing. Look at that. What a currency. What can you say about that, huh? I mean, damn. Damn. Yo, triple quad Z. Rate of change is in the change of... Let's see. Rate of change, is it the change of price or some other indicator? Well, let's look it up. Let's find out what the exact explanation is. Rate of change. They call it a leading indicator, I can tell you that. Rate of change formula. Let's see what the formula is. Whoa, I like that. So here we go. You're gonna hate this. Well, maybe you'll like this. I don't know. Right there. There's the formula to it. So so it's the rate of change. So your the rise and the run. Now let's try going back. Let's see. Rate of change indicator instead of formula. Indicator. And got to put a D in there, right? Indicator. Let's see how that goes. All right. Rate of change indicator definition and use. Price rate of change indicator. What is the price rate of change ROC indicator? The price rate of change ROC is a momentum-based technical indicator that measures the percentage change in price between the current price and the price certain number of periods. Yeah, rate of change is delta. Okay. The indicator can be used to spot divergences, overbought and oversold, conditions, and center line crossovers. How's that? Is that cool or what? The rate of change, you want to go any further than that? There you go. Now they put like a stock in the stock thing there. There you go. Rate of change. And so that's kind of cool. And I like that formula myself, but right there, I like that the best. Cool. It's just a mathematical expression right there. I like that. Delta Y over delta X. That's probably like the simplest explanation right there for those that like to be math wonks. So I hope that did that help out? Is that cool or what? Yeah. See, we're a full service, what the hell the market's all about type of person. So that is really a good way. Like I said, we should do this on Saturdays where I can think. You can see here, what was interesting is notice the rate of change was really fighting. Now the scaling of this is not the best, right? But I mean, just normal scaling. See a little distortion there. You might go in too close, but just a couple, like a 4-week view of the scaling is always pretty good. And so you can see here, the rate of change was staying above in many ways. So it was trying to tell us even when the white line broke down, the weakness was not very strong. Then when it popped here, what was really curious, see still the white line is still below the scaling of the slow stochastic. The fast is still, leading, and we're using the slow stochastic as the zero line. I don't think I say that much in the webinars. I just say, look at it. Doc's like I told you, I got Doc's in the heat of battle. He's got like 3 or 4 people coming at him at the same time as we're doing the webinar. I have traders coming at me asking me questions, and they're dealing with real money too, and I got to answer them. And then at the same time, and then I'm answering questions on webinar, and then I might have a position on. That's possible too, So, I mean, anything's possible. Anything is possible. It's a theoretical smorgasbord of crazy. And so, that's what it is right there. Now look at that. If it wasn't dead today, I'd take that more serious. With the rate of change above, trying to lift, you got the white line moving through the slow stochastic, or the fast stochastic moving through the slow, or I like to say the white. Now you go over here, and we can see what it does here. Now you can see here, let's widen that. Matter of fact, is that the same product even? What are we looking at here? We're looking at Zolti. Okay, so let's go find the Zolti. That's the ruble. There's the Zolti. And we'll move this up. And so you can see here, it is matching up. Well, we've been up there for a couple days. It's just finally doing it. But again, it's the flavor. You're getting the flavor of the direction just like I have the flavor. In other words, I'm cooking ribs and and beef, and using JForex, you get the same smell. It may not be the same taste, but it's the same smell. So it's better than not. And like I've said before, you come to Dukascopy, 1 hour a day, you get the doc, and you see the doc math. And if you're that hungry for actual bites, if you're not using the JForex, I say use it in conjunction with Chicago Quant Technologies. That's probably like the best game of all. Traders cannot have enough tools. Let's put it that way. Especially when you're dealing with money, you can never have enough tools. You always want the best of the best. You're always hunting for the best of the best. Wow, I'm really kicking it up today. Likes your comment paper. Oh, this is a good one. I saw a paper. I have so much time on my hand today that someone published a paper about the change. How is it? The balance your where is it at here? It was an interesting paper about discovers new particle being released by the sun that is mutating all matter on Earth. And so then they posted that. So then I posted. There was this paper about 8 or 9 years ago. Wait a minute, where am I? Get away from the physics again. Anyway, forget that. There was a paper out of Stony Brook. I'll just leave it at that. That actually showed that frequencies have an effect on decay rates. So they're just 8 years behind. That's all. All right, now what else are we looking at here? So that's that. All right, so let's move from the Zolti. We're going to go from the Zolti to, unless someone wants to see something in particular, scream it out, Let's see what the yen looks like with this. There's the yen there, 3 weeks in a sell. We just did the yen too, but let's go back to it. No, you know what? Let's do this. Let's GBP yen. 6 weeks in a buy, 3 days in a buy. GBP yen. As the Marines say, let's not pay for the same real estate twice. And you can see here, it's staying above, and it didn't really get any strength out of it, but you can see the rate of change was breaking down constantly. And now, as this breaks through again, this time the rate of change is moving up, and it's trying to move up. So that is the flavor of that. That's for sure. So anyway, Quad Z. I like my new name for you. Quad Z. 4 Z's. You like that about the indicator? Did that help out? And if not, we'll go back to it again. We can go back and look at it again if you want. I don't mind dissecting rate of change. I always find it's interesting. They have rate of change listed as a leading indicator, and they have stochastics as a lagging indicator. And if you put the fast and the slow together, as far as I'm concerned, the fast and the slow is a leading indicator. Sure helped. Cool. Excellent. I just want to make sure I'm getting the message across. That's all I'm trying to do. Just making sure that I don't sound too outlandish and off the rails. I mean, that's because trust me, if no one's asking questions, Doc can definitely go off the rails. Especially when I got String 2020 in the background on a dedicated computer. So I'm grooving on that at the same time. So I'm listening to string theory, and I'm thinking about the markets at the same time. So that's definitely a smorgasbord of crazy in this head. All right, now let's jump over to... This is another one that's been interesting. We've just changed over. Line 22 and line 23 are replacements from products we've been following throughout the years. Now let's take a look at Euro AUD. Euro AUD. I'm the singing trader. La 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 la. There, where is it? Euro AUD. There we go. So we got it up on JForex. Okay, there you go. There, you can see it's breaking down. It's still breaking down, but the one thing that's, I guess you could say, oh, Witten. I could have sworn I just heard Witten's voice. I mean, he's the top mathematician in the world. Oh, we got to make the volume louder. No. No, that wasn't Witten. Always like it when the big guns come out. All right. Let's see now. What else we got? Or Juan, somebody from the Institute. Let's see. What else is brewing there? Bless you. And so, let's see. What are we looking at here? Oh, you like that? Excellent, Nicole. Yeah, see that? I mean, with the markets closed here, I'm getting a chance to think a little bit harder. I'm only doing a few multitasks instead of a dozen multitasks. So that's a very cool thing, eh? Yeah. Oop, let's do this. Let me just answer her. Oh, yeah. There it goes. Oop. Fun with market closed. Three-day holiday. Holiday. Yeah. There we go. So there we go with the Euro AUD. Now, for traders out there, why are we paying attention to the Euro against the Aussie? And I think 54 said it yesterday or the day before that. He said something like a lot of the Commonwealths or pairs trades like to follow the stock market in one direction or the other. They're affected by it. And so you can see here the Euro Aussie seems to be a really good tool to watch the stock market as it's drawing down. You can see over the last 3 days. Let me put it up on the JForex. Let's put the JForex over. Let's do the Tech 100. That's the NASDAQ 100 in the States here. And you can see the same thing going in the reverse direction. So it's interesting to see them confirming. And look at that. The Stochastic busted through. Where did it do it? It busted through. I guess it would be that one right there. See, 1, 2, 3. So right there, busted through there and went into the buy. So what are we doing on our spreadsheet? You can see on the spreadsheet, there it is right there. 3 days in the daily buy there. You can see that. 13 weeks in a weekly buy. So if you think this is lower here than here, then the spreadsheet is right. How about that, huh? Let's see, Doc, in one of your earlier volumes, okay, webinars I imagine you mean, so the volume numbers from JForex, are these the numbers from the exchange or just broker trades? I'm not really sure. There's what do they call them? FMs, FO. Let's see, future. They have a name for it now, but we've moved out of that category over the last few years. The exchanges don't really, there's dozens of them now, and a lot of them have a lot of interesting paper. In other words, a lot of interesting volume. The New York Stock Exchange was sold to the ICE, the with the Intercontinental Exchange, and competes with the. So basically, I guess nobody really thinks about it, but New York Stock Exchange is owned by a futures exchange now. Well, what's that got to say? Because you know how the futures exchanges are. But anyway, so the volume is not really. It's really nebulous. It could be bank volume. There might be cumulative volume from the banks trading in the interbank market. The exchanges. The Chicago Mercantile Group trades futures contracts. They don't trade spot at all. And there is no real spot trading in the United States through an exchange, except through the Philadelphia Exchange, which is owned by the NASDAQ Exchange. Okay? And then they sold the spot trading to the Chicago Board of Options Exchange, which is now independent of the Chicago Board of Trade. So there's a lot of inbredness going on. So that's a really good question that we can explore. But trust me, it's more of a question to your broker, to find out who they are reflecting. Maybe Janos knows this. Do you know Janos? Let's see. I see Janos on there. This needs to be remade into a description. Let's see, what's he talking about there? I guess he's looking at something else. But if Janos is listening, do you have any idea, Janos, where Dukascopy derives their volume from? I'd imagine it's the interbank market, right? So in other words, they've got like the Reuters trade tape, and I imagine that's still alive. I guess is Reuters owned by somebody now? They bought Thomson, right? So Reuters and Thomson are merged together. But I'd imagine it's something like that. Is GBP AUD a buy here? I don't know. Let's find out. Hey, 54. Are you getting cranked up? Are you still partying out from Canadian Day of 2 days ago or what? Let's see. And then is everybody still partied out from Lafayette last week? Let's see. It's holiday time. Holiday. It'll be so kind. Holiday. All right, let's see. What are we looking for here? We're looking for GBP AUD. GBP AUD. They're right there. See what it looks like on the JForex to start off with. That's why I always do that, because I'm always looking at that indicator and I don't really get a chance to voice about it. But today I got a chance. Well, look at it. It tried to spike through. Everything says on this that it wants to go up. Let's go over to Dukascopy's Chicago Quant and see what it says. Let's see. GBP AUD, right? GBP AUD. I know you've asked me about that before, so I'm sure we've looked at it, and it's in here somewhere, isn't it? GBP JPY. Did I replace it with that? Maybe I did. There it is. No, it's GBP dollar. All right, so let's do this. Let's activate that and then make a copy of that. I know we are playing with that. Isn't it on the bottom of our fact spreadsheet too? Yeah, right there. See that? I know we've been playing with that. GBP AUD. All right, and let's put that in there. Format. Holiday. AUD right there at the top. And then go like that. So yeah, Quad Z. It's something that Janos probably could give us more insight to who they're drawing or their trading desk. It'd be interesting to know. And you can see here. Well, don't trust today because it's so dead today. It's in a buy. See, it's on a daily buy, but look at the weekly sell. So if anybody thinks, let's see, if they think this is higher than here where the rectangle is, Doc's JForex is the bomb. Is it right? There it is. There we go. And it's in a weekly sell now for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, going on 12. Today's the 12th. Yesterday was the 12th. 12 weeks in a sell. Yeah, look how it took a while for that week to play itself out. So we could really move this over. Like that. There we are. It went into the daily sell though here. Caught that. So that's pretty cool. So the daily led us into this one. So you can see there a daily sell led us in. And as it tried to climb back into the buy and rolled over again. So there's that. And then you can see it on the J. Oh, you can't see that. Sorry about that, traders. Sorry about that. There we are. There we go. There's the daily buy. There's the weekly sell. It was in a weekly buy from there to there. Interesting. Early webinars. Let's see. These numbers from exchange or just broker trade. Okay, so we answered that. Earlier webinars. What about earlier webinars? You can hear more of my insanity. Let's see. Yes, with 2 masks. Party hardy, baby. That's right. Party hardy. All right. So yeah, it's in a buy, as you can see there on the Chicago Quant, and as you can see there with the JForex, it's trying to do the same thing. It's trying to bottom out in there. So it's been sliding more than anything else. I guess once we gets into that weekly buy. Let's see. 54 says there must be a bed at the bottom of the ocean, just as trees do not grow to the sky. Uh-oh, we're getting theoretical here now, are we? Okay, I'll bite. All right. Let's see. There must be a bed at the bottom of the ocean. Okay, so that's a low. All right, this is encrypted. I like this. So, just as trees do not grow to the sky. Okay. So, in other words, if it doesn't go up, it goes down. No, that's not what you're saying, though. You're saying that it's a range. Right. I see that. How about the Chicago Quant? What data do you use to process the algo? That, whatever, I don't use volume for more than, I think we talked about this a couple of days ago. I only follow volume for confirming that there's activity. That's pretty much it. MHB, what's happening? Welcome to the hood. So, 12-week decline. Oh, yeah. It's been sliding, that's for sure. Actually, what? That's just like what you said about the oh, that's an AUD again, right? And so, like where is it? This one. Let's take a look at it on the Euro AUD. That's that same thing again you were saying a couple days ago. Where a lot of the pairs trades like to do that stuff. Now, what is that? What is wrong with the bottom on this? What do I have wrong there? Something don't look right. Oh, maybe that is. Let's just make sure that's a weekly. Indicator. No, not indicator. If instrument. Yeah, it's a weekly. Okay. Okay, it's just so spread wide. That's what it is. So this thing's been in a weekly sell. Something don't look right there. I know what it is. Let's check this. The properties. That's why it doesn't look right there. There we go. That's better. Something didn't look right there. It wasn't following the weekly. There we are. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Same thing. Yeah, you're right. Long, yes, long Euro AUD and now long GBP AUD. Oh, you're long both of those, thinking that that we're coming in. Oh, you're talking about the bed, the lows. So you think that it's going to go into a low. Well, I would wait. I'd wait for a weekly sell on at least something like the stock indice. Oh, I think the FTSE fell into a sell, but then the FTSE does that. It can go in and out. But I did see that. GBP AUD is, where is that? That's it right there, right? Yeah, so let me just make sure we're looking at apples and apples. That's Euro AUD. Okay, let's go to that one. GBP AUD should be at the bottom. Now I'm confused altogether. There it is right there. What did I do with the GBP JPY? I thought I made a copy of it. Okay, let's do this. Didn't I paste it? Ah, there we go. And that's the GBP JPY. Okay, good. All right, let's just save this before Doc loses it all. Not his mind. That's something's already lost. Okay, so there's let's see, what's GBP AUD? So GBP AUD, let's go back to that. Right there. Yeah, so it's in a, MHB says in a buy. It went into the buy 2 days ago right there. You see right there. Let's see how much life it'll have in it. So let's move that over more like that. So don't pay attention to today. Let's see. Superb right on the mark. The Getting to Know Visual JForex series introduces. Okay, the new traders. Okay, cool. All right, so yeah, you can see that. You can see the weekly though is in sell. So I wouldn't be too aggressive about the buy. Obviously, we're neutral from that. Only taking the shorts. So does that help out, MHB? And so 54. I would say wait for a weekly sell or something or close to it, a daily sell before you start swinging that big stick, trying to hit it over the fence. So you're going to get long Euro AUD and now GBP AUD. You're going to get long both of those because you're thinking that they top out. I don't know. I would give it a chance, Give it a little chance to breathe. It helped? Yes, it helped. Oh, okay, good. Yeah, I don't, these products do have a tendency, as 54 says, they follow the stock indices. Some perfectly in one direction and some perfectly in the other direction. So that's, in other words, you can use them as surrogates to not have to play the stock indice and use the leverage of the currency. And trust me, if you're doing it, some of the big institutions are doing it. And we've talked about this, about surrogates to the different products, trying to use different pairs trades to do different, trade different things. That has become, especially after quantitative easing in 2008, that has become the norm. I mean, really, it seems to have become the norm. And so that is not a surprise. Let's see. And so there we are. You can see there on the two of those. So okay, I find that interesting myself. Just to see the different ways of leverage and play to get to the same product. All right, now let's see. Where do we go from here? MHP. I think I have to buy a call option for a month on the GBP AUD. I would say wait for a weekly sell in one of the stock indices, of the 3 U.S. major stock indices. I think that would be, well, let's put it this way. That's what makes a market, buyers and sellers. But I would wait a little bit more confirmation. What 54 is really saying when he says, there's a bed in the ocean and trees don't grow to the sky, is that it's going to top out. And that's true. And the odds of it topping out, it looks like it's trying. But and this time of the year is really bad too. So I mean, your attempt to buy could be rewarded much more than normal. This time of the year, these markets can be really thin and they can get pushed by different institutions until other institutions need to push back. So go for it, guys. If you're going to go for it, why not? Options is a lot easier than hard delta, that's for sure. I will make that buy option valid for 2 months, August. Now, that's a good idea. Or September, especially if it's the end of August. You want it to be the end of August, because the crazy zone, as far as I'm concerned, is usually like going into the second week of July, heading for third, and the first 2 weeks in August. Those 4.5 to 5 weeks can be real sloppy, anywhere from 3 to 5 weeks of real sloppy trading. So reach for late August, time-wise, or even early September, and you could be rewarded very easily, because the odds, that's how we get the 8.5 out of 10. This time of the year runs havoc on the moves my indicators, my gas lines, into a success rate on a daily and weekly basis down into like a 50-60 percentile. I've seen all kinds of things happen. I've seen great successes, I've seen great failures in this particular time period. It's the thing that smooths it down. So let's see, what's Lynn saying? She is, all right, let's give her this. Bum, 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 bum. Live now. All right, so where are we now? But yeah, guys, options sound like a smart move. Best entry is 1.79, but here is close enough. Yeah, I'd imagine. What's that? The low end of the range? Let's see. Which product is 179? Let's look at it through JForex. Oh, we're right there, 179. Okay. So that makes sense. The GBP AUD. Are you cutting out? All right. Yeah, safe one. I'll catch you tomorrow. Yeah, we'll have that figured out through the website. Let's see. Yeah, I see that. Now, when's the last time it visited there? I guess right there. In 2019 in the last quarter. So, I guess, yeah, 175 to 179. That makes sense. See, Doc, I really find a trader with such broad spectrum of knowledge. Very impressed. Thank you. Who, me? Why, thank you. You always give me compliments, 54. We're gonna have you like put a quote on Chicago Quant. We'll call you Mad Hat 54 says. A lot of us floor guys were like this. We used to call ourselves. We had a name for it. Kitchen table economist. That's what we used to refer to it as on the trading floor. To have a broad understanding of a lot of areas and technical and economic concepts. We used to say we are a kitchen table economist. Did you see where the economist at Deutsche Bank is retiring or going to another, not retiring, but jumping off? He'd been there for like 15 years, and he does these charts, does a lot of charts. And he's known for his charts, not his economic opinions, because you know how economists are. For every 10 predictions of an economist, 2 are right or something like that. I mean, economists are really bad. But my 2 sons have economics degrees, so I know what the hell he's saying. He's jumping ship. Is there a ship still, or is that a life raft? I think there's a life raft, a dinghy that says Deutsche Bank on it now. I don't think the ship is around anymore. I think it's already sunk. It's gone. It doesn't exist. It's a life raft, or a bunch of life rafts tied together. I think that's the best way to describe Deutsche Bank at this point. And so he's leaving, and someone was saying that they're going to be really missing his charts, because his charts are really good, but his charts are not economic charts. They are trading charts. Predictions of uptrends and downtrends, things like that. Yeah, it's owned by the ECB. Well, you know what they're probably owned by? I bet let's say it's financed by the ECB, and I would imagine the Bank of Germany, the Federal Reserve of the Federal Bank of Germany probably owns them. I know that they used to have swaps. They were the largest swap trader in the world. They had close to 70 trillion, not billion or million. They had 70 trillion swaps on. That's a big number, especially when the German economy is like 2 trillion, and their number one bank has 70 trillion in swaps. Imagine if you take one of those swaps off wrong, you lose $500 billion accidentally. You don't hit the bid or offer right. Yeah. So I understand they're down to about 35 trillion now, 34 trillion, something like that. They've reduced their swaps over 50%. And I imagine when the swaps get down to, like almost nothing, then Deutsche Bank will go away. It'll disappear altogether. It'll be merged with somebody. They've been trying to merge Commerce Bank of Germany with Deutsche Bank, but Commerce refuses to put themselves in the hole. And I'm sure they're trying to bribe them in many different ways. But, yeah, I hear you there. All right, anyway, where are we at here? It's 1 minute to the close of the webinar. So what we're going to say is, catch everybody on Monday. You can see the spreadsheet is labeled as the 6th already. Let me just show you that. So this is the same spreadsheet as is going to be going out Sunday night. that's where we're at now at this point. So I hope everybody enjoyed the webinar today. It looks like we had some people come in and so forth. So yay, good to see you, MHB. And so Doc's going to finish his webinar like he always finishes it, with a little song at the end. So here we go. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all my trading